wala ko'y anything, any know-how about business.
The fight for gender equality or women empowerment is not to bring down one sex or
True.
one gender.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, this is Andrea and you are watching Girl Talk. I am going to start this episode by asking you the question, who else here has a problem with this vehicle sign? I asked some lady drivers about what they think about this sign, and apparently I'm not the only one who gives it the eye roll.
We strive for gender equality, and yet for some reason choose to put up caution new lady driver stickers in the backs of our cars. Like, why? It may not seem like a big deal because it's just a sticker, but not only does this perpetuate backwards thinking, it's actually even more harmful because it's self-inflicted misogyny. Like, girl, why are you putting us down? It's the 21st century, women can drive, and we can drive well. In fact, being a good driver has absolutely nothing to do with gender, and the same goes for being a lady doctor, a pilot, or even marketing second-hand things is lady-owned. The word lady does not mean inferior or superior. And if we really want to achieve equality, we can do so much better than enforcing gender stereotypes when it's convenient or can excuses for things.
I have been driving out in the road for 13 years, and it's always a long drive from the town to the city. And one of the best/worst comment that I got was, mura daw kuno kog lalaki mag-drive. And I got that comment from my father who taught me how to drive. So every time I see this sign in the vehicle na caution new lady driver, I don't actually know what's that for, but I think the society have this notion na if babay gani ang driver kay kana bitawng tangaon, mukalit lang brake, makabangga. But in my whole 13 years of driving, I've never had an accident na ako ang nakasala, no? So, maybe I want to see next time when there is a vehicle sign, no? It should not be specific for ladies only, right? Men are actually more careless when it comes to driving when they are new to the skill than women. So, I don't know what you think, but that's my opinion.
Caution new lady driver. What do I think of it? I think it's unfair because why label it lady when not all lady drivers banga man mo drive? So sometimes I see sa road na there are also gentlemen na di man sad maayo kayo mo drive. So why label it lady, diba? It should only be caution new driver na sign.
Ang akong reaction mao ni mag-abot gyud ang akong kilay. Nganong i-indicate na gyud na new lady driver. Kung lalaki lagi, wala. Lahi ra.
Here, ladies. In fact, we have partnered with Ford to drive their Build Ford Tough Ranger all the way to San Remigio, Cebu to show everyone that big cars or driving in general is neither masculine nor feminine. Let's all watch this.
Hi guys, we are here at the Ford showroom in La Hogue to pick up our pickup truck, and I will be driving these guys, my cameraman Neil, and our assistant Josh for more than 100 kilometers up north. Ready na mo? Let's go! With me inside the Ford showroom are our sales consultant, Sir Jeremy, and the general sales manager of Ford Cebu, Ms. Ivy Castro. Sir Jeremy, can you tell us more about the features aning Ford Ranger nga ato ang gamiton today?
So, the Ford Ranger has a new engine. It's a 2-liter bi-turbo for the 4x4, and for this unit, the 4x2, it's a single turbo 2-liter, 10-speed automatic transmission as well. It's a improvement from the previous unit that we have, which was a 6-speed. So the benefit for this for the customer or the user for the Wildtrak is that you get more power and more efficiency. Another feature that we are pushing for the Ranger Wildtrak as well is that it has an 800 millimeter water wading. So that's basically about 2 inches above the tire na water wading capability for. Then another is the 1,200 kilogram payload capacity. So if in case you're towing or hauling heavy loads, then the Ranger can do it all. And it can tackle any real-world challenges that you bring with it.
On that point, why would you say that the Ford Ranger is built tough? Nganong tough man gyud atong Ranger?
So it's designed to take on real-world challenges, whether you'll be doing river crossing with the Ford Ranger or maybe hauling 3,500 kilograms or carrying heavy loads anywhere, whether it's on-road and off-road. So for sure, it will give you confidence to bring it anywhere.
Sige, now let's talk to Miss Ivy. Miss Ivy, we'd like to know, how do you make sure that the market for these Rangers are not just exclusively geared towards men, but how do you ensure na it's for everyone?
Okay. Well, although our Ford Ranger is built for tough, but it is also very friendly. Okay. So in fact, I'm using Ford Ranger. Yeah. So it is because of the features that are very helpful to me. Let's say, for example, the power assist. Okay. So when you are driving, especially when you're parking, it's so easy to maneuver. Okay. So I'm a Ford or I'm a Ranger or a pickup lover this time. So it's really designed for all kinds of drivers, not just for men, but for also women.
So di na rin siya maingon nga toys for the big boys. Pwede gyapon kitang mga babae, Miss Ivy. Can you tell us about your ongoing promos right now, Miss Ivy?
Yeah, since we are celebrating the Ford Truck Month, no, so we are giving very exciting promos. Like say, for example, for the Wildtrak in particular, we are giving 70,000 cash discount. Okay, that's for cash purchase. Now, if they decide to buy, say, in financing, we are also offering low down payment where you can get free shuttle, mortgage fee, the comprehensive insurance for 1 year and the 3 years LTO registration. Yeah, that's it.
All right, I'm excited to give this beauty a ride, of course, without the caution lady driver sign. Let's do this! Of course, a road trip would not be complete without enjoying our local produce. And good thing I have a lot of space here at the back to load our fresh harvest from our friends from Barangay Tabok, Danao City. So here is an interesting fact that you should know. In my 12 years of driving, this is actually my first time to drive an automatic vehicle. So I've always been a manual driver, and in fairness ha, hayahay man ni siyang automatic, i-add to cart ni na to, be, char lang. Anyway, here are some facts that would prove the caution new lady driver sign wrong. In an article by the New York Times, male drivers of cars and vans had twice the rate of fatal accidents per mile driven. And in a research by an insurance firm, it was found out that women are less aggressive and are more law-abiding drivers, which is why insurance rates for women are lower in several places. So as you can see, we are not the ones you should be cautious about. But in fairness to men scored higher in automotive knowledge. So the point here is that these condescending jokes about female drivers need to stop, and we still need to continue the drive towards equality.
Alright, so those
those were the highlights of our Ford Media Drive. And up next, we will continue to tackle the topic on gender stereotypes and the fight for equality with our guest here at the studio, Commission on Human Rights lawyer, attorney Cyril Andomalos, when we return here at Girl Talk. Thank you for joining us again here in our second segment of Girl Talk. And with us in the studio today is Attorney Cyril Andomalos, the OIC of Commission on Human Rights Legal Division. Hi, Attorney Cyril.
Hello, good morning, Anne.
Attorney Cyril, or Ling, as what we commonly call her back in our college days, was my kauban sa debate team sa STC. So we're both Teresianas, and it's very apt, no? We talk about this topic about gender equality.
Yeah.
Before ko muasa ang mga questions that I prepared for you, I also want to ask your opinion, Attorney Ling. Unsay mong masulti about atong caution new lady driver sign?
Maglagot jud ko ana makakita. It's very annoying, no? Why would you say new lady driver when you could just say new driver? Kay
Yeah.
tanan namang new driver na difficulties on the road. Why
Yeah.
would you have to label it lady?
Tinuod,
For purpose.
So dapat ko ano gid unta, caution new driver.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be kanang very, it doesn't have to define one sex kung babae ba siya or lalaki.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Attorney Ling, I'm very, very curious. I saw this in one of your Facebook posts back then. Nganong you chose not to change your surname sa imuhang husband's nga surname, and then you wanted to retain your kanang maiden name?
Well, it started off as when you're a lawyer, Manggod, when you become a lawyer prior to getting married, there's a process that you'd have to go through when you change your name, and I found it very, number one, expensive siya, and ikadua, hassle na.
Yeah.
When I have the option not to change my name. So not many know that you can retain your maiden name no, even after getting married. So it started off as more practicality, and then later on when I heard people reacting to that choice of mine or to other colleagues who opted to retain their maiden name, it becomes empowering as well, no? Because two things, you can showcase that one, I can keep my identity even after marriage, and two, I have a supportive partner and husband who supports that decision.
Did you discuss this issue with him before you made that choice?
Well, yes, there were discussions on that, but it wasn't more like I was asking permission from him. It was more of I was just informing him that this is my choice. And it didn't surprise me that he was supportive, because I know my husband and I know that he's very confident of our relationship, of himself, and he doesn't need, those kinds of little things. It doesn't bother him at all.
Kanimang good siya, Attorney Ling, this is not something that a lot of women know. And diba, it has been common practice na kung maminyo ang usa ka babay, she would really carry the surname of her husband.
Yes.
So, pwede ra gid ay kay din sa Pilipinas?
Pwede ra gid kaayo siya. We have legal basis for that. We have decided cases on that. So, well, di man siya issue if you want to change your name. It's fine. You have a choice. As long as you know that you have this option as well.
No? Kaya aside from the expenses, hassle gid bitaw siya, because first you have to change your IDs, diba?
Yes.
Kinanglan ka mo ato sa mga SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, sa mga driver's license, you have to change everything. So, ingon ana gyud, it's not just kanang consuming money, but at the same time, time.
Yes,
diba?
time and effort. Well, it's not as hassle man compared to when you're a lawyer, because when you're a lawyer, the main thing is that you'd have to re-sign the role of attorneys. It's like a big book where all the lawyers sign, and you'd have to change your signature and your name para ma-identify ka in your pleadings, in your appearances, and in job-related or profession-related endeavors. But it's the same. If you get married, you have to change your civil status man sa tanan nimong IDs. It's just that you have the option to keep your name, which is I can't explain it, but ang pinaka-apt nga word that I can describe for it is that it's very empowering that you get to keep or maintain your identity.
True.
And nga dili ka ma-associate no sa imong
the wife of the. Yeah,
Yes.
You know what? When I attend program, sometimes good ingon ana siya pirmi nga. okay, let's introduce blah blah blah, the wife of. You're always the wife of. It's always nice to have your own identity, diba?
Yes, it's not that it's an issue.
Yeah.
No, I'm proud of my husband. I'm proud of being married, but it's just that I'm Cyril and Dumalos. I'm Ling and he's Fred. You know, those things, little things really, but well, it's empowering to be noticed or be identified as your own.
Yeah.
Not like in ownership of someone.
Mao gyud. But although supportive imong husband about this, Ling, what were the common reactions or comments that you've heard from others who do not understand the type of kanang agreement that you've had ba?
It's more of my child will get confused in the future.
Tinood.
That's the main concern of everybody. So then I just say, well, then it's time to educate them. Well, it's time to explain to my child, especially that I'm raising a son, that this is okay and women have a choice.
How about from your in-laws? Okay ra gid sila. Wala ra sila ni.
Very cool. My in-laws are very cool with that, and I guess from the get-go, they know that I'm empowered and I'm very outspoken, and they know that this is me, no? So they're very cool. They're not trying to change anything about that. Wala sila issues at all. Thank God.
Nganong this has been your advocacy, Manling, ever since kanang the promotion of gender equality?
It started the consciousness about gender equality and women empowerment. Of course, it started in St. Teresa's College, no? In our school, in our alma mater. But it's just the consciousness na maudi ay ni ang akong gibuhat. I was raised, sukad pagkabata nako, I was raised to be an empowered person. Not necessarily woman, man, girl, boy.
Yeah.
But empowered person. I was taught to pursue my dreams, my own choices. You know, I was given free reign in choosing my career path, my college course, tanan. And I wasn't told nga you shouldn't do this because you're a girl, or you shouldn't do this because it's for boys. Wala ba? So I grew up in that kind of environment, in that kind of upbringing. And so pagkaabot na nako sa STC, thankfully, no, dito na nako siya nabutangan og label nga. Oh, so this is women empowerment. Oh, so there is an inequality that
needs to be addressed,
or that is actually experienced by people. So dito lang ang awakening. But para nako, it started when I was being brought up as a young kid until young lady and until I'm now a woman.
How about with regards to your work, Ling? You work at the Commission on Human Rights, CHR. How's the status of the cases of gender-related violence ng inyong mga nadawat, particularly din sa Cebu?
Well, particularly in Cebu, if you base it on, if you look at the data nga sila tanan on a wide scale, makaingon ta nga gamay ra nga percentage. Because a lot of the cases are involving right to life, the violation of the right to life. But as they say, one case is too many, no? And also another implication is that these types of cases or these types of abuses, gender-related or gender-based violence, are often not reported. So that is also like murag ang atuang nahibawan is that it's very hard to report these abuses. So those that come, those who are very brave to report these cases, gamay ra gyud sila. But daghan gihapon, no? Little a tiny percentage, but one case is too many.
Yeah. Well, what are these common complaints that you usually receive sa CHR?
In the region, I usually receive complaints for economic abuse. No,
What does this mean?
This means when the spouse or the husband is not giving enough support to the woman and the child, or is giving support but is not adequate, especially when they turn sour na ang ilang relationship, or kanang dili na maayo ang dagan sa family, or that some women are, you know, forced to leave work, leave their jobs to take care of the home, and then if it turns sour, wala, murag gipiton na sila financially. But that is just most of the cases that I receive, no, as a legal officer of the regional office. It differs from every part of the country. No, for some, well, nationally, no, based ato ang statistics nationally, the large chunk of the cases involving gender-based violence or gender-based abuses is physical abuse. So that's physical abuse, and then next in rank is psychological violence. So psychological abuses like mga emotional abuse, mental distress, etc. And then third will come in ang economic abuse. It's just that in the region, particularly in this region, no, kay mas daghan tang nadawat nga cases on economic abuse.
Okay, but these cases usually exist within families, no? How about those complaints in the workplace? For example, mga gender-based harassment. Do you also get those? Or panagsaragid kayo?
Panagsaragid kaayo. In fact, if I remember it right, sa ako personally nga dawat nga cases, wala kay ko'y nadawat nga gender-based harassment or sexual harassment in the workplace. It's more of always in the family setting or the home. No, but I'm not saying that these things do not happen. It's just that there are other venues or other mechanisms nga mo address ana supposedly within the workplace itself, whether private or public, because that's mandated by law. Otherwise, kung wala na, not na itulubagon no ato ang company sa balaod.
But you mentioned earlier nga one of the factors that could probably be the cause ba nga nung di kayo na nakadako atong statistics is because people are hesitant, no, to file their complaint. And especially kaning mga gender-based harassment, sometimes manggod we just let it go.
Yes.
Nga even if there is really a reason to address this concern ba, we are used to this culture nga, you know, catcalling, bisag mga ginagmay ra, but these are actually things that really have to stop.
Yes.
And then it's really about needing to change the mindset of people. Nga, it's not okay.
Exactly.
Diba?
Exactly. It's true when you say that these things are often swept under the rug because that is part of our culture.
Yeah.
And because we feel that it's already normalized. When you walk down the street and you wear like a dress, even if it's like below the knee, some men will still call at you.
Yeah, that's
whistle, call you, "Oy, sexy." And they feel like you're being flattered. I can't grasp, no? How do you flatter someone by saying, "Oy, sexy." Diba? So, you're right. It has to start with the mindset. It's something that we have to learn nga, uy, gender stereotype ni. Or, uy, dili ni comfortable sa usa ka babae or usa ka tao to do this. And then from learning, we unlearn. We unlearn certain stereotypes, norms, biases. And then, we learn how to be inclusive, non-discriminating, non-offensive, sensitive. So that's, inana siya. It takes a lot of work and effort.
And it's nice nga these issues are already freely discussed, especially online. Diba, when we hear about mga news reports about, for example, rape, a lot would comment na sala sa victim. What was she wearing? Was she drinking with other men? But it's nice that there are also already a lot of people who are calling these individuals out. Nga, you know, you really have to stop this culture of victim shaming. So nindot na siya kay it's not really a topic that's already considered as taboo anymore.
Exactly.
It has been openly discussed na gyud.
Exactly. It's good, no, kanang at the end sa advent of technology, of social media, naana sa tip of your fingertips ang information and knowledge. So you just have to learn how to decipher and how to choose, no, your learning material. So it's double-edged, manggod. At the same time, ma-perpetrate na sad ang abuses online. Diba? So you learn online, you get a platform to discuss this advocacy and to empower women, but at the same time, there's another venue within which to abuse women or shame women. So it's always there. The struggle, the challenge, the fight is always there. So we always have to be vigilant.
Tell us about this advocacy of the CHR, because I've seen your Facebook page, and I saw these posters also about gender. I'm not sure what's the exact term for your the group or the division in CHR, but tell us about that.
We have this Gender Equality and Women Human Rights Center. It's a separate office or division, still under the umbrella of CHR, which specifically handles issues involving gender equality and women. No, so everything, tanan advocacies, and they also oversee investigations and cases involving women and other diverse SOGIs and genders. So we have that, and CHR is also mandated by law, the Magna Carta of Women, to be the gender ombudsman of the Philippines. So with that mandate from the law, we have the function to monitor, to advocate, to monitor compliance of the state with laws and treaties involving rights of women and the rights of our diverse SOGI members. And included therein is the investigative function as well. So we also undertake to assist clients who seek our help in filing cases and case build-up.
Up next, we will be discussing the available opportunities for men and women here in the Philippines, still with Attorney Ling when we return here at Girl Talk. Thank you for staying with us, and right now I have with me the fact sheet about men and women in the Philippines, which was released by the Philippine Statistics Authority last March 2020. So maghisgotaning mga figures karon, Attorney Ling. So based on the current statistics of the PSA last March 2020, it says here that there's only a 47.6% participation rate of women in the labor force compared to 74.8% of men. Aside sa labor force ng statistics, 23.1% of women occupy elected positions. Gamay ra gid gihapon kaayo versus the 76.9% by men. So, governance and both the labor force, medyo gaminat gid gihapon ang mga lalaki. Unsa imong masulti about these figures?
It's very vague, no? The reasons behind that.
Yeah.
And there's a myriad of reasons for that. So I can just, sa ako lang personally, ma-divide na ko sila into two. The positive and the negative.
Yeah.
Which is, it could be a consequence of choice or a consequence of circumstance.
Okay.
When we say a consequence of choice, no, maybe some women prefer to engage in business, in informal sectors, rather than have themselves employed. Di ba? Para imuhang flexibility sa imong time and sa imong effort and sa imong physical presence, ikay nagkupot. But at the same time, it could be a consequence of circumstance wherein you'd have to quit your job because you'd have to take care of the kids and take care of the home, or that you couldn't get a job because walay opportunities nga present for you or for your competencies. So it goes both ways, no? And when we talk about naman elective positions in government, again, consequence of choice or consequence of circumstance. When we say it's a consequence of choice, it goes both ways na po. It could be your choice not to run for office, or it could be that ang choice sa mga tao is not to vote for you or not to put you in that position. So, it's always daghang reasons, and colorful kay na siya. Daghan kayong reasons, but it's always double-edged. There's a positive reason for that, and there's a negative reason for that. So, dili ta ka arrive at a certain definite conclusion, except when we go to them and ask them, nga naman, no? And even, even surveys, dili gihapon siya. To me, no, scientifically, technically, there is a representative way of doing statistics and surveys na makaingon ka nga representative siya of the population. But we cannot fully know unless they are lived experiences nimo.
That's true. Pero what can you say? Do you think that there is still a huge need to address the issue on inequality when it comes to the available opportunities present for men and women here in the Philippines?
Yeah, definitely. Because legally speaking and theoretically speaking, there shouldn't be any more inequality. Dapat fair na eh. It's already mandated by law that there shouldn't be discrimination based on sex when it comes to job opportunities. But we know that in reality, there are still certain disadvantages. It may not be disadvantages displayed by the organizations or institutions, no, or the management in the workplace, but there are also internal disadvantages sa women.
Yeah.
Take for example, when you become a
A
mom.
mom, yeah. You have to file for maternity leave.
Aside from that, when you're about to go back to work,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of mental load that you'd have
That's
to carry
true.
with you, diba?
Oh my gosh.
And if you realize men do not have these,
I know.
or if they do, it's very minimal compared to that of a woman. Murag, imo maguhuna-hunaon, mobalik na kong trabaho, kinsay magbantay sa akong
Yeah.
anak, kinsay magpatutoy sa akong anak, kinsay luto, inig ka magtrabaho ko, kung kailangan ko mag-overtime, kinsay magpakaon nila sa balay, kinsay manglimpyo, kinsay manglaba, etc. So these are internal things ba nga it's so hard to do away with.
Yeah.
But makahelp ba ya when you have a very supportive partner and when you have a partner who sees you as his equal, then you can share the chores, you can
Yeah.
share the load. But lagi, innate siya ba?
Yeah.
Nga, you'd have to
Probably
think of
it's
these
really
things.
biological, no? Let's talk about this now that you've brought it up. The mental workload of women, like what you've mentioned, murag tanan manggod imong huna-hunaon, di ba?
Exactly.
Even if you're at work, you have to think unsay sudan na mo ugma. Unsay kauna na mo next week.
Exactly.
Kinsay mo bayad sa imong bill sa VECO or sa tubig. All these things, they're in your mind, even if you have to be at the office. And like what you've mentioned, it really, really helps if you have a supportive partner. Well, not all women have the privilege of having one, but at least no kanang mas maayo gid if naay support sa family.
Exactly. You'll always be needing your family.
Yeah.
Even if di ba, when we were raised or we were taught to be independent and empowered women, but at the end of the day when I gave birth, mas ako mama, I need my mom, I need my dad, I need my husband. But it's because of certain loads ba, na not only mental but also physical loads that you'd have to share, no? So nara man pud tay limitations, di man ta, although superwoman ta, dili ta infallible. Not tay limitations.
That's true. But I'd also like to emphasize, Lingban, that this episode is not pushing for the battle of the sexes, diba? We are
Exactly.
really pushing for equality. So
Exactly.
we're not really saying na pwede ang mga babae kaya niya tanan, pwede sa work, pwede sa balay. But men, in fairness ha, na-adjy daghang mga lalaki who are also very kanang helpful sa gid sa
Yes.
balay. And sometimes manggod kinahanglan siya i-stress out nga uy swerte kay ingon ani imong bana, hands-on sa imong anak, when in fact you are both parents to your child.
Exactly.
So it is both your responsibility
Exactly.
to look after them. No?
Exactly. It's not something you acknowledge and you
Yeah.
celebrate it, but it's not something unusual nga because you're parents.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm a parent and he's a babysitter. It's not like that. And also we have to acknowledge the fact that the fight for gender equality or women empowerment is not to bring down one sex or
True.
one gender.
Yeah.
It's actually uplifting all the
Yeah.
genders and all the sexes with their capacity, with their potentials and talents. So take for example, I have a son, and it gets to me, it's an issue for me when people say, oh, don't play with that, those toys are for girls.
I know.
The toys are for boys, these are for boys, these are for girls, don't cry, you're a boy.
Yeah.
I don't want to raise my son like that. I want to raise him to know that it's okay to cry, especially when you're a toddler and you can't understand
Yeah.
everything around you. So, it's okay to want to cook. It's okay to want to clean. My son loves kanang magwalis, manilhig. So, I let him. Ganahan siya mag-apil-apil inigluto. I let him. Ganahan siya mag-play of trucks, balls. I let him. Let's do away with, let's unlearn nga we'd have to associate things
For boys and girls.
for boys and girls,
Yeah.
for feminine or masculine, or we'd have to associate certain colors
Yeah.
or certain
Kaning mga gender reveal, no? Pahawa
Yeah.
kayo. Dapat
Oo.
blue and pink. Daghan
Yes.
sa big mo reklamo ana nga dapat dili na blue and pink ang gamiton because wala gay kuan sex ang color.
while it's not an issue for me, Murad, whatever floats
Yeah.
your boat, but kanang you have to understand ba
Yeah,
what these
that's
things
true.
mean. You know, Murad, sometimes unconsciously na-associate na din mo siya a specific gender or a specific sex when in fact wala. people are made differently from each other. Natay strengths, natay weaknesses, natay inclinations, natay mga di ganahan buhaton or dili kaya buhaton. So, ayaw siya i-associate with a sex alone because that's when we start forming norms or forming stereotypes, and that's when we begin na unconsciously maka-discriminate na di ay ta.
Yeah. All these statistics, manggod, kaning mga figures, kaning mga cases nga itong ipag-discuss pa, I think it really boils down to the family. Like, sa raising your kids ba, to make sure that they grow up nga wala bitaw sila stereotypes in mind. So I think there's really a huge need for parents to learn and, as what you said, unlearn these things para sa gagmay pa lang ang mga bata, they would grow up to be individuals nga kanang wala bitaw biases when it comes to a person's sex. No, okay, what you said, like I also experienced some of those issues. Like for example, my son, for the longest time he had long hair. It was up to his shoulder. And a lot of people were saying, putli na, kay mura na siya babay. And there was also a time when there was a Barbie toy that I was supposed to give to my child's friend. Unya, kay nag-pandemic man, so wala ko nahatag. So he opened the box. You know, kids, when they see gifts, ma-excite sila. When he opened the box, moto ni siya, iyahan na lang daw. And some people would react, uy, nga tagaan mo ni mag-Barbie kay lalaki man. Diba? These things ba, and you don't know that a child, bisag lalaki, owning a doll, he can learn a lot of things playing with a doll, like how to take care of a younger sibling,
Exactly.
diba, how to be a good father in the future. Oh my gosh, nakuan ako.
Carried
carried away.
It's also a way of exploring. So then you have a lady doll or a male doll, a female doll, and you know there are differences.
Yeah.
If inanak ka particular ang doll, I don't see anything wrong with that. If he wants to play with dolls, then let him play with dolls.
Yeah.
If he grows up to be inclined towards, design, fashion design, or whatever, let him be. That's his dream. Diba? At least, just as long as it's not bad behavior, just as long as you're not stepping on somebody's foot, why would you not let your child thrive? Diba? Nga nung imo mang i-clip ihang wings, not really on it. It's true, it's a long shot, and it has to start with the family. It's very difficult, and I would say even if I was raised in an empowered environment, if I was raised in, to me, a good upbringing, naamagyap with gender stereotypes, even up to this day, naamagyap with gender stereotypes. It's just that you'd have to be patient and you'd have to put in conscious effort nga mo learn and unlearn, ingon ana lang.
What are the ways that you think would help promote these things? Unsa man imong mga ika-suggest to, I know it won't be an overnight success, kay daghan gid kay siya tabahuon nun.
Exactly.
Especially sa mga grassroots level nga kanang kuan na gid kay ni nga culture bitaw, these mindsets. So personally, Ling, and coming from the CHR, what do you think are the ways to promote gender equality in the Philippines?
Daghan. You can do it in magnanimous ways, through advocacy, lobbying, policy making, and you can do it in the small ways. You don't just teach. You don't just study it and learn it. You also have to listen.
Yeah.
Listen to the stories. Listen to the background. Understand where they are coming from. Understand why they are acting in this manner. And then from there, when you understand the person, when you are able to put yourself in the shoes of the person, then you'd be able to know how to address that person, how to address that the issues of that person, the various experiences of that person, and then mas ma-effective ka to teach or mas ma-effective ka to share. No, you don't disabuse yourself of the thinking this is right, this is wrong. Even in the advocacy of promoting gender equality, I'm not very much a fan of saying this is right, this is wrong, but where is that coming from?
You have to understand the story behind it.
You'd have to understand because for all we know, diba, there are stories na women putting down each other nga kapwa babae nimo, maput down nimo, etc. And then nakay certain remarks nga insensitive or offensive. But you have to know why. Nga nung mangingon ana siya. Unsa may asa man na nanggikan.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand those things, if you don't take time to go into those things, then mura mo, it's like you're talking to a wall. Dili ka effective. So for me, ang pinakaunang step to be able to advocate for it is that you'd have to understand the background, listen,
Yeah.
and get to know the beginnings or the history or the reasons why things are this way.
Yeah. Ma-relate sa mo siya, di ba? Especially, like for example, when it comes to bullying.
Yes.
We normally, automatically, attack the bullying, anong ingon ana siya. But we do not know the reason why ingon ana sad siya in the first place. So we really have to understand and dissect the issue, no? We try to look at the factors behind that kind of behavior.
Actually, even the law, especially for bullying, which is, by the way, for children, for children na nang bullying ka na
Yeah.
in school, ha? Because
Which is another topic that we'd love to have you here with us again for
sure,
that.
anytime. Because, naana sa tong balaod, actually, no, nga, you don't just penalize the bully, but you examine the
Yeah.
psychological background of why he or she is being
like
that
that,
way,
yeah.
or is acting that way. In fact, ang ipenalize, ana, is if you fail to address the act of bullying, and if you fail to address the psychological, psychosocial needs of the, we call the bully and the person being bullied. So, even in abuses, and by the way, no, even in abusive relationships, it's not always nga dapat i-antagonize na to ang abuser. We don't condone the abusive acts, but we also have to examine kung sa background niya. Nga naman siya na abusive. Could be that he grew up or she grew up in an abusive family.
Yeah.
And it's a cycle. It's a cycle. Even the abused person, it's also a cycle, no, nga ingon anak ka nga mo tolerate or mo condone o mga abuses being perpetrated towards you. So, mura siya musa nga gani. Daghan kaayo siyang branches. It's not just the legal aspect. Naa siya psychosocial aspect. Na siya mental aspect. Daghan siya. So, you really have to go deeper to understand.
Thank you kaayo, Attorney Ling. Before we end our episode, would you like to invite our viewers kung unsaon man mga processes, if na sila yung mga concerns nga gusto i-address sa CHR, how would they be able to reach you?
Okay, we have our hotlines, no? We have cell phone numbers that you can reach 24/7. We also have landline numbers in our office, and you also may message us or feel free to comment and subscribe to our Facebook page. We also have the office is also available from Mondays to Fridays for walk-in clients, but because of the recent situation that we are in, pandemic, we prefer that we communicate with you through our hotline, email, and landline numbers.
All right, thank you so much. This ends our episode for Girl Talk. Again, we would like to emphasize that this episode is not a battle of the sexes or a competition to determine which sex is superior than the other, but rather it's really about working together and making sure that everyone is treated with respect. This has been Andrea for Girl Talk.